Oh, now with AI, they'll take
We're
it.
getting ready to go live, so
Somebody's
everybody's
here.
happy.
It's like they used to.
Great.
Oh, really?
I call this, April 2nd, 2024 work session to order. Here.
I don't think there's any need to go into closed session unless you tell me there's something that we need to talk about. I don't know anything off the top of my head. So I'll move on with the agenda. School nutrition update. We have some, just again, we'll try to keep doing this each month, provide you updated information, kind of see where we are, where we think we're headed, et cetera. Kind of share what's in there.
Yes, sir. So the information that you're getting now is our costs that we spend with PFG, which is our food distributor. I created a report that shows data from August 16th up to March 20th, and for all schools. So also you'll notice to the right of the columns, there's a section called add-on to order outlier. That is just orders or items that the manager's like, oh, I forgot this or I forgot that. It kind of skewed the data on the graph. So I pulled that out, still gave you the total and the case count. Also, I have included data from the Virginia Department of Education that basically shows our average daily participation for the National School Lunch Program and the Breakfast Program. I will caution you though, it does not include, it's held back a month, so it does not have March's data in there. Hopefully this is a report, a foundation that I can build on additional information. Rachel and I began ordering, we centralized our food ordering system to the central office probably about 3 weeks ago. The first week, we basically ordered what the managers wanted as per their request, just so we could get familiar with how to order food ourselves through PFG. You've heard me mention that we use a centralized negotiated pricing list through the SAM Co-op, which we are a member of. So the past 2 weeks we have been comparing what the orders are, and we have been making sure they hold as true to our SAM Co-op negotiated prices as possible. And I'll let the data speak for itself. And if you review it and have any questions later on, or here now, or later on, please contact me, and I'll be happy to explain, do my best to explain the data on that. Also, as a follow-up to one of our initiatives, Employee of the Month, we have selected that Employee of the Month, and I'm working on a flyer to post on our Facebook account. Also, I'm going to request through Dr. Arbogast that employee be recognized at our next school board meeting. And we will probably around the middle of the month, we will start taking nominations for May Employee of the Month.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir. No problem at all. I don't want to reveal who that is right now, but I've let them know, and they were very excited, and I was excited for them. So that was a good thing.
When you're doing this, can you do a combo of all 5 schools on one, just to see where we are? Because I mean, I noticed some are going up, some are going down the last 2 or 3 weeks, just to.
That's, I know we could, initiate like the grab and go and put it in, is everybody participating? Is all the schools up on that? Is that something that we, kind of track? And I know that was a big thing that we was really to do.
We are, to my knowledge, doing grab and go at all our schools. What I'm finding out is it's a little bit more successful at some rather than others. But I don't believe that's the school's fault. We are competing with local businesses near our school. So we're looking at ways to increase our participation at
Some of them can be taking it to breakfast.
Well, one of the things too, I think where we've seen the greatest increases at Macy with our grab and go breakfast. And I'm real happy about that. We're working on ideas. We changed the menu. We're, soliciting feedback, from just word of mouth. I mean, I haven't set up a panel or a survey or anything, but just word of, hey, what do you think? We've had some success with some entrees, and we've had some not successful.
I guess we'll just learn.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that was just a good way that we could change things with just that one simple thing if we try to get that up. So
The grab and go.
Nicole, you'll have to, tell Sebastian is he getting his grab and go in the morning?
I think he goes to McDonald's
Oh.
more often than not, based on the debit account.
And not only, we're competing with them and Wendy's and Dairy Queen, I've also let principals know, and I won't reiterate this with them, even if you pack a lunch and a child wants to go through the line for lunch, please encourage that, so.
But don't anything, and I talked about those tally marks before, don't anything to speed that thing through the line, especially for the high schoolers where they've got that compressed lunch.
We're still working on that. If the thing is, if we do tally marks, and I have to verify this, but I believe if we're gonna do them, we have to do them the whole month, and those deals still have to be entered into the system. But we're looking at ways to speed up the lines at our schools. Any other questions or anything that I can answer for you, or anything that you would like to see in our school nutrition program?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Last work session, we discussed continued to discuss the sick leave, retirement, shared information with you, what the county does. You asked me to find out other information from what other surrounding counties do as well. It's kind of all over the board. It's anywhere from $25 a day, no limit on days, up to $50 a day, no limit on days. 25% of the daily salary up to can't exceed $5,000. So it's a wide array. $30 per day, 180 day max. So it kind of is all over the place.
I hope we can match county's plan. Can we do? What's the county do again?
They pay reimburse individual at the daily rate up to $5,000.
So we limit 200 days and $20, so we would increase ours to 25.
Personally, I don't think that's enough, but that's just me.
Currently, we're at $20 a day up to 200 days, so that's $4,000. So you're $1,000. Okay, that's what you're talking about.
What do you, I guess, let's just talk about it. What are your thoughts of what you think it ought to be? I mean,
I know $50 is a lot, but you just gotta realize how much certain teachers are coming to work every day, how much money they're saving by not having a son. And it don't have to be 50, but I just think 25 not enough. That's just my opinion.
can you get that information to us that you've got, just what you found, just so we can kind of look at it? Yeah.
I can give it to you right now. So, Dave, you copy it for me.
Yes, sir. Why don't we, while that's getting copied, why don't we just move on to construction, we'll come back to this.
That's fine. construction update, just really stage sound arrived at Giles High School last week to do the auditorium, band room, chorale room. They worked on it. They were going to move into the band and chorale room Thursday when we got out of school early. Hopefully they finished that up. I've not heard any updates from them how that's gone. They anticipated being able to finish that up sometime this week, and we'd start receiving, Giles High School would start receiving training on how to use the lighting system, or excuse me, the sound system in both those areas, in all those areas.
I just received word that they're supposed to come and commission the system after lunch. They're supposed to start today after lunch to commission the system, i.e. training, and then through tomorrow.
So then they moved along pretty good then for them to get that equipment in. I think they were ready Tuesday last week, Wednesday last week. So they worked over the weekend.
Do we just need to make sure we get everybody that needs to be trained, because I know what happens sometimes, you lose everybody that's got any knowledge of it, because they go to a different job or go. So as many as we can get trained on it would be great.
I'll get it here in a minute.
I think so.
Still working through the contract for Macy. Still having that conversation, trying to finalize that back and forth between the architect and our council. Still having some conversations about the type of units being proposed for Eastern ceiling in the building, to determine what the appropriate direction to go there is. There's a conversation about different systems to increase the cost. I don't know that we're ready to increase the cost by the amount that they're talking, so we need to make sure we have another conversation with the architect, John Ross, and ourselves. Anything else on projects that we need updates if we have?
Just to give a brief update on the softball field, we got, last week, we got some parking installed for handicap access. We put down Jesse Williams with the Public Works put down a concrete pad. I haven't confirmed yet, but we were supposed to put in some parking blocks, also to kind of eliminate parking areas. We moved some signs. Hopefully that'll be here today, that the cautions against foul ball area, park at your own risk. And was working to try to get an additional handicap porta-john at the football area. I don't know what the status is on that yet, so I need to check back with the athletic director at the high school.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. I got a phone call weekend. He's happy to see what he's on.
Yes, sir. Have you been up to look at it, Mr. Brown?
Earlier, they just put the gravel in. Not lately.
Okay. It's considerably bigger. So I know they were installing poles to kind of, so people just wouldn't drive everywhere up there. They put up some, they're not putting up chain link fence, but they put up poles where we can put chains between them. I know probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a school system drive a bus up there and park the bus beside the backstop, and I let them know that that's, we need to not do that. That was another school system, not us. So I think Mr. Wilson communicated to the transportation director about that over in the county or the location they came from.
They were coming for a softball game and pulled on up there.
Yeah. And they drove the bus up there and parked it right beside the easily backstop. Or right there. Lucky we didn't get stuck. So,
Thank you again.
yes, sir.
It was the right thing to do. Thank you.
Since you mentioned fence, I know it's not on the agenda, but, Shelley and I looked at it too. The fence in between the baseball field and the football field. Going down the left field line, it needs to be replaced. Because there's places in there where the fence is rolled over on the top and the bottom. And if a kid's playing third base or shortstop or left field and runs into the fence, it's gonna stab them. So it needs- I think she's ready to work
She
on it.
did, I saw that report come through, I can check with Mr. Fisher to see what the status is on that, fence. I think she put it in last week, and I don't quote me on that, but
It's last week, yeah. Because they had a game on Wednesday and she was showing me that. I walked up to the softball field and seen where they put the ground on that stuff. And come back down and she was showing me the fence there in between the football field and the baseball field. It's pretty bad in some places.
Yes, and I'll check on it and see. I don't know if that's something they can do, if they're actually, I don't know if they'll have to actually get a fence company in there to do that, but I'll check on that. Lighting, I think you had brought up lighting last time, is that right?
For the ball field,
Well,
for baseball?
For the parking area, somebody brought up the,
That was Jay.
I did,
Okay.
everything, parking lot.
yeah, I've contacted Mr. Fisher about that. It shouldn't be an issue getting more light installed and replacing the existing lights. I just want Mrs. Bogus to have an input on that prior to moving forward. And it was around the ag shop, cafeteria area, is that correct?
Really toward the band room, the main parking lot. And it's nice, the game's over like that, ain't much light out there. I can see you back to the.
So probably the band area, just probably the whole campus, correct?
Parking lot.
Okay.
I was talking about fences there, the county, we don't notice, but the county's cleaned up out to, Little East and everything, it's more fall. They're cleaning brush and all, I think they go clean that up down the road and out toward the school line, that brush. And I'd asked them if maybe clean up the fence road. I was waiting, I don't know if you felt about that old fence road's growed that bad down behind Easter. But if we clean it up, if you know what cleaned it up, we're gonna need to probably put chain link fence behind there. School. Put it in the plan to try to budget something like that.
I'm sorry, did you say you had somebody that could clean it up?
No, the county's cleaned it up now.
Okay.
Where y'all noticed, they've been cleaned up out there, and they're gonna clean all that brush up along 460. And I'd asked Chris why he was doing it, could he just clean that fence row up behind the school? Make the whole place look a lot better.
So you'd like a chain link fence?
Well, sometime we could afford it, you know, any money now, but I think we ought to have one behind the school, at least out to 460. Don't want it in front of the school, but I keep it around, because we got one on the lower side. Chain link fence around it, back to the back there.
Check into that.
So I'll bring it up.
Can you just let because I'm trying to visualize where you're talking about. On the back side of Eastern?
No, front side.
The front
Upper
side?
side. Next to Wheeling Park.
Yeah.
They're cleaning the park up, or cleaning.
And there's
the
no
brush.
fence there currently that
Just no
separates?
farm fence, barbed wire.
Yeah.
Barbed wire, that's it. If you take that brush, take it all that out, it should go up, I mean, really somebody drive right into the back of the school. Through there. If you clean it up, it ought to be a fence put back up. Some guy will put a field fence back up or something, or be a fence put back up.
Yeah, at the very least, yeah. High tilts or something, just if that's,
Or somebody can't just come in, it opens the whole back up, drive anywhere you want to.
yeah.
Anybody else got any facility concerns?
I was telling Jason there, it started before the meeting, but been trying to find some people to cut the trees in ours, we got a guy said he'd cut them. He's gonna look at it.
He's just doing it for free?
We got a lot of people said they'd help work it up. If we get trees on the ground, it's main time. That's the bulwark.
Yeah,
Get them on the ground.
there's a lot of them.
Oh, yes.
I mean, a lot. You don't realize till you ride back. Because I rode back there to see that wall when he's talking about that.
There's 60 to 70 trees.
Yeah, there's a lot. Because I was trying to vision, when he was talking about that retaining wall and the curve. I guess you can't really It's hard to see.
Until you go over there. Yeah.
Over there,
Yes.
go back there and look at it.
Yes.
But,
Thank you, Jay.
if we get them on the ground, and I would, I guess we'll decide where we want to try to keep them solid, keep them over for ourselves, for shops, or, I've got one guy, I got a good lead on the guy that made mine. I want your brain, but we'll get all the numbers, get it to you before we do anything.
Thank you.
Excellent.
That'd be a good start anyway. Mr. Brown, I thought of something else too, at the high school, going to the ag lab, it ended up left the road where it was at. But it needs stone on it, talked to the line player, Mr. Shearer, he said we could get some stone.
Okay.
But we gotta get it on the weekends. So. Well, if we get, we don't have anybody hauling, I think I can haul it. if we need to. Haul it for you. We're gonna need to get it on the weekend. They don't like loading that program beds to go along with it. That's fine.
Yes, sir.
We got trucks coming and going all weekend.
Okay. Let me check with Mr. White, and let him know, about that, and see if they're okay with that. I'm sure they're not like to verify with him, so I'll talk to him and let you know, okay?
Sounds good.
How many loads do you think it'd take?
Or put some on all, it'll probably take 110, yeah. 75 to the road.
Let me check with Mr. White, I'll get back with you on that.
I asked for 100 tons of that, I asked for sure they have 100
Yeah,
tons.
what it is, just crushed
Just
lime?
mixed up, everything, just like crushed around.
Okay, yeah.
Stuff gets mixed up, so you gotta keep it separated first. Depends what kind of line we're making, but this stuff just all mixed up, that stuff in, like from small stuff, dimes, it's simple, just mixed up.
Just like crushed lime.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything else on facilities or projects? Do you want to go back to?
Yeah, we just.
So Smith County new limit, Montgomery County 5,000, Bradford City 9,000, Galaxy 5,400, Carroll County 30, potentially 30 no limit. Smith County 50 no limit. Pulaski County basically a $15,000 limit, planned 25 but no limit.
Yeah, in the long run, I think it'll save money too. Increase it. Sure, increase it, show up, not hurting the
Do we have a lot of employees that have a lot of things?
I shared a list of up with you.
Yeah, it's a
Before we had
spreadsheet.
about,
Eight,
I would say about, I would say 15 or 20 at the front. And
yeah.
I have back another page. But that was over 100 days, I think, if I remember correctly. Now, there are people that have anywhere from 0 to 100.
Well, I'm talking about that, do you have any that's got over 300, 200, 300? We cap it at $200.
We do. Right now, we count 200. list I have is 100 or more. Has more than 200. Looks like 13 that have over 200. Let me count quickly, make sure I'm counting the right column, but that's what it looks like quickly. Probably at least that many that have 100, between 100 and 200.
And we're at 20 right now, $20.
$20 a day up to $200 a day.
I do not love that we are at the very bottom of that in this area.
See what, if you can calculate, if we kept the 200 cap in what it would, let's just say, folks with 27 plus years of service, well, I guess it would be folks that we think are close to retirement, because I think we gotta look at changing it, but I think we're gonna get hit 2 or 3 years with a lot of retirements from the standpoint of they're working out these raises. You got people that got 30 plus years. They're waiting for that to get the BRS. We gotta know what that's gonna get hit, because the thing I'm worried about is we do this and it's gonna probably come at the same time the state, right? We're gonna get retirements hit at the same time the state ratchets its back, and we're gonna try to probably have to do early retirements at the same time we're doing this, and I don't want to eat the savings we'll get with early retirements with something that could be, changing the benefit. So if we could calculate like a 25 with the 200 cap, a 25, a 30, all the way up to 50 to see what we're looking at, what that increase would be, just so we've got an idea, worst case scenario, what would be in 1 year. I think I agree 100% it needs to go up, but also just from a standpoint of when it's going to hit us, it's going to be a big chunk 1 year, I think.
Do we have parameters on minimum years of service in our system to pay those out? Like I see some are like if you've had a certain number of years of service in our system. We don't have that parameter on our payouts, correct?
No. Okay. I don't think generally for you, that's usually not an issue in our too much, too many.
I know you don't know how many people are gonna retire, but can we kind of guess how many are gonna retire each year to kind of expecting that?
I can get a report run, ask Barbara to run a report, individual for 25 years or more in BRS, because that's the next 5 years or so. Kind of see how many per year when they get 30, when they're going to get close to 30. Because you would assume that they're going to wait to retire. Again, I don't know people's financial situation, that you would assume they'd wait to 30 years when they're retired BRS for 30 years, 30, 31, 32, or 33, depending whether they want to go at 30, whether they want to flop a year, 2 years, or 3 years. Keep the cap at 200, but look at $30, $40, $50, see what that cost is.
I don't know about you guys. you know, if it's not too hard to run it, if we took the cap off to see what that's gonna look like too. But I think 13 people were affected right now. I mean, the number could grow.
Tell me again, what is the county's? Jay, you were saying to try to match what the county is. What is theirs again?
I just suggested, yeah,
There's up to $5,000.
up to $5,000.
No, I think that's probably 5,000 is probably the low, looks like it's the low end of what our, you know, we're at the low end right now, but everybody else 5,000. Montgomery County will be the low end from what I'm seeing here. So I think we've got to go up, but the question is how much and what's, I think we probably have the discussion Wednesday that we've got to do something on it and that 5,000, you know, we definitely got to meet what the county's doing, but that still doesn't put us where we probably want to be in the market. Everybody good with that discussion happening Wednesday?
Hang on.
Probably another 3 within 25 days, depending on how many get closer to 200. We'll put together something, see what that looks like, see if that's got the information that you want to actually see, how you want to tweak it. Exactly, we have to come and incorporate the conversation tomorrow as well. Anything else on that?
Before we get into that, Terry, why don't we talk about Head Start?
I do know that there's a potential conversation that Head Start preschool down in Glenlyn. Rich Creek, excuse me. Rich Creek is possibly not gonna be offered next year. I have not heard officially today. I'm gonna talk to Jessica to see if she's heard anything, any follow-up from them. I know Jessica and I spoke last week about this. The conversation we had was we would look to include a position in the budget to have a VPI preschool teacher in our budget that would teach, and they would teach at that site, because we'd have to figure out where we would house another preschool classroom on that end of the county, in the western end, right now.
I spoke last week, Mr. McLaurin, saw him again yesterday at the drug court graduation. Recovery court, yes, it did change that. Judge Carroll would be mad at me saying that, but the recovery court graduation. Basically, he's talked to several folks with Head Start. They had a budget cut. That's what they're blaming it on, or attributing it to. The only issue is that's a fully funded, full program, 18 slots. It's fully staffed, and it's probably in the best facility. It's in that, what they built up across from the nursing home in Rich Creek. That it was going
An office at one time.
Yeah, it was.
From the Methodist Church.
Yeah, it was going to be assisted living or whatever. So I think their board is going to talk about it Wednesday and probably maybe do a resolution to see if they can put some, at least say how much we need this in our community. And it's great if we can. I mean, I think we have to try to pick it up because that's crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is the VPI initiative that we've got cannot provide the same services that Head Start does. It basically we don't have the before and after school
initiatives and some of the other stuff that Head Start does. So I think, given we're not gonna meet and can't pass a resolution, Terry, if it's the will of the board, I think it would be, even though we're willing to take up that with our budget, it sounds like, or that's what we're gonna look at doing, that we also send a letter saying that, because I think it was said, to Mr. McClarney, that we could pick it up with VPI, since we've got extra slots available, but that's not the case. And I think we need a letter from you on behalf of the board stating that we intend to pass a resolution, but not gonna have a regular meeting, but that, differentiate services and give Jessica to show what those extra services are. Reiterate that, Rich Creek and the western end, I mean, we are the only coal industry disadvantaged community according to the federal government, this inside in the River Valley. So it's, there's certain economic factors, and that, you've got a very nice facility, all the things there that would, go toward them keeping it there. May not help at all, but at least we've tried.
It's definitely needed.
Everybody good with that?
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
We can draft something. I'll talk to Jessica today. We're gonna draft something.
Maybe check with Chris to see if there's anything else we can put in there.
Letter needs to go to,
Check with probably their board, their director.
anything else? Now, I did not rerun all the salary scales again for you. I can do that if you want, but you had a copy of them the last time at the work session, so I did not rerun all of those. Based on the conversation we had, what you have there has been updated based on information we have received, plus what you all wanted to see based on the conversation we had. We did receive the calc tool from DOE last Monday. I think that was the 25th, whatever date that was. Monday the 25th. That showed us projected what our revenues would be from the state based on ADM number, et cetera. So based on our conversation that we had during the last work session on the budget, I went back and revamped all the salary scales again. The salary scale that you received proposed, I'll just start with teacher assistants and work my way through them again. The salary scale that we talked about last time with teacher assistants, that proposed taking the starting salary to $16,675 next year. That was $13.90 an hour. I changed that again and increased that to $16,875, which is $14.06 an hour. That would give, and that's a 6-hour position, $16,875 for a 6-hour position. That would be an average salary increase of 5.02%. so it makes it 5%. Bus drivers did the same thing, increased the starting salary that we talked about last time, increased it to $16,470. That took their salary, average salary increase to just over 5%, 5.01%. Secretaries and bookkeepers, did the same thing. Increased the starting salary for secretaries proposal to $23,135. That's a 10-month position. Bookkeepers, $23,905. That would provide an average salary increase of 6%. Proposed 5.75, 5.75% for the administrative assistant staff here at the board office. Nurses increased the LPN starting salary from what I shared with you the last time to $29,800. RN to $34,495. That would give an average salary increase of 5% there. Teachers, again, increased the proposed starting salary, increased it to $49,155. That would provide an average salary increase of 5%. Administrators proposed 4% salary increase. There is no salary scale for administrators, so the administrators was going to have a 4% salary increase. The other items we talked about were still included in that proposal that I just gave you. In addition, with the renovation projects coming up, we've got Mason getting ready to get started. We're looking to get Narrows and Giles High School out there, and then one at Eastern, the River Tech Center, etc. Possible second phase at Macy. Included a clerk of the works funding in the budget as well to make sure that we had that position covered. I would like to include 70, just had that about $79,286 included in there. Again, not knowing number of hours and that sort of stuff. We pay it by the hour, but we want to make a work agreement pay on the hour. So just not knowing how many hours we would need and that sort of stuff, we just have to put a dollar amount in there to cover. Conversations that David and I are going to have with Stride. We're going to talk to them, have a conversation with them about admin fee and that sort of stuff. So some of that revenue under local, that could change as well, that could go up. And we need to have probably the flow through amount for Stride non-virtual kids, that increase that just to make sure we're covered, but we probably need to increase that a little bit more anyway as well. Because the conversation we could have with Stride is, do we want to accept any more students? And we could have that conversation with them and see how that would affect us. Questions or comments?
That county contribution number is based on all those changes.
That number is based on all those changes. And that, I mean, we can still do some work if need be. I just stopped because I didn't have a conversation with you all to see what else, if there's anything else that you all. And if we have a conversation about what we just had about adding a preschool teacher, that would go in there, that would change that number as well, so we'd have to put that in the budget as well. That's not in there currently.
What would the bottom line be? I assume we get additional funding from the preschool initiative, but there'd be a cost to us. Do you have a number of what that would be?
Cost to us, we still have VPI money this year, so we could probably purchase some of the material and get it out of this year's budget.
That was the idea, was at the end of the year, she would, whatever's left in her budget line, she would supply the new classroom for next year.
So your cost would be salary for next year.
So all the VPI slots that we've been awarded, that funding that we get for those would go directly to salary.
So 50,000 plus, so you're what, probably 75,000 salary, benefits, insurance.
That would be our cost.
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. Might be a little bit more than that, I think. Yeah.
Do you need to include 2 additional aides?
Right, and that's 2 additional ways, that's true, didn't think about that, so that you're talking another, probably 7.5 hour position. You're probably upwards of 150,000 salary. Off the top of my head again. I'm guessing with the benefits. Until I put them in there. I can put them in there, we can see where it is. I just didn't, again, that conversation occurred later in the week, didn't include that in this adjustment.
Yeah, we definitely need to have that.
But
Calculated.
Yeah, I figured that, but I just didn't do it yet.
What else would you, setting where we are now, what order of priority, what would you want to include from your level, Lisa and Mike's level, the best bang for our dollar?
We've got a reading specialist in there. If we're gonna look at other things, we look at other. Well, that's gonna be in the, that's out of all in spending money, so that's already there, we just have to post the position. And then at some point in time, a year or 2 down the road, we'll have to absorb that, the county reading coordinator too. We added a reading, but included another reading specialist to help with secondary, but they backed off, including secondary next year is the year after, but still that person can still be beneficial, help preparing things as we move forward. Do we need to look at elective type things at the middle school, at elementary middle school level? Like art?
Yes.
Have another art teacher at each, put 2 art teachers in, so that would give us a total of 3. That's a possibility. You got STEM person at each site, those type of things, things we.
What was it, Ms. White was saying?
So I talked with Ms. White at length the other day about the workload that she has, the unique circumstances around her particular position, traveling to all of the facilities. And I have her numbers because I specifically said, how many students are you seeing? How many classes are you prepping for? Her position is so unique. And I do think she and I agree, art at those early ages is so critical for fun, motor skills, etc. But if we can either supplement with an additional art teacher to help lessen her individual burden and the number of students that she sees, which is 670 students and 42 classes or homerooms a week to prep for. 42. 42 different classes and homerooms to prep for. Without the repetition that we might see from some other specialist teachers. And 670 students. 350 students that she cannot see for a variety of scheduling reasons. So even if we don't, she's only able to go up through the middle schools at the middle school ages at Macy. She's not doing that at all 3 schools. But if we could either have an additional art teacher to lessen that burden or add a STEM coordinator, like I think Christina Martin used to do a position like that, for the 4th through 7th graders, right? That way the creatives still have their outlet, and that we're able to support Lisa. Her workload is, and she's on a cart.
I know, I see her,
Yeah, she's on a cart at I think Narrows for sure.
Yes, she is at Narrows.
But just because we hire somebody, not gonna necessarily take them off the cart because they don't have the
Correct.
correct room.
Yeah, that may be what it is for there.
So some sites don't necessarily.
There's
have
just not the
room.
space, correct.
It could be, if we decide to hire somebody, that person may need to be on a cart as well.
Yeah,
So it's a function of not having a classroom.
Yeah.
Or a room.
Yeah.
So maybe it's, you guys come up with us or to address that issue, if we add one position, what would be the best targeted use of that funds, whether it's STEM or extra, or, what we could do with 2, if that's possible. I don't, again, we gotta look at all those numbers.
It would be nice if the middle schools had if we were gonna, make our middle schools like a middle school and they had a rotation, so they could rotate all the kids through art, music, STEM, and PE. And if we had that rotation, that's a middle school, and then you can add your, electives or whatever in there and then expand out from there, but it's hard for principals,
Yes.
They can't make a schedule because it's always like, well, it's art on Tuesday, but not on Wednesday, and it's art here. They need, if we have a true middle school like we're wanting, then they need to have a true rotation of where those kids get a 9 weeks of this and a 9 weeks of that, and they rotate it through and those people are there every day. I mean, that's what we should be shooting for, in my opinion. Just, I had that luxury when I was a middle school principal. I had that to make a schedule, and that's also your planning periods for your teachers. And, and I think that's what we should be shooting for. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what we should be shooting for, I think, is for them to have a true middle school schedule.
That's like my favorite statement I've heard in a long time in one of these meetings, which is like, here's the goal up in front of us, and then let's work backwards from that and build, aim for a thing and get there.
That's just my opinion.
See what that would cost. But I think, here's what we're gonna be working with. I think Wednesday, the county's gonna start talking about their budget. They're gonna want some sort of idea of what our number is. I think it's fair for us to communicate that with them. So I think you've got, to me, if we could calculate your total cost of what ideally, something that fits, if that exceeds the number that we've got there, what we can do, given that number limitation without asking for additional funding.
I think that's our number. We're not asking for additional funding.
Okay.
I think that would be our number. We're not going, I don't see.
That is the goal.
Funding would be the goal.
See what we can do with that, if that gets you, and if you're short, let us know, and we'll talk about it. Anybody else have any other thoughts on it?
I think we could also expand what we were doing with Ms. Riley, anytime we have low enrollment in our CTEs, then our programs bring them down to our middle schools and branch out like that. So it may not be, it could be a variety of things, and maybe the 3 schools look different on different years, but at least those kids, we want to have, there's also a possibility of that too. And I'd like to see foreign language at our middle schools. If we have low enrollment, you know, because it's so hard for kids. I know taking Spanish online is not ideal for seventh graders, but I think there's some possibilities whether, and we may not even have to hire a bunch of people, just maybe use our people a little bit wiser.
More efficiently. Mm-hmm.
That's all I have for this morning, unless you all have items that we need to talk about.
We have a lot of, like I say, on the agenda either, but somebody asked me about, we have a lot of chronic absenteeism.
Well, we're tracking that, I don't know, I mean, if we have one that's chronically absent, that's a lot, in my opinion. We do have, but since COVID, I think we're experiencing chronic absenteeism. And, you know, we're having to, where I used to have one day a month, I'm having it 2, and I have to start at 9 o'clock in the morning and go all day, so that's an indication we're trying to address it.
And a spreadsheet was created 2 months ago, that was shared with each school to track kids, particularly that were attending after school or before school, all in tutoring sessions. Because if they're attending a certain number of them, at the end of the year, we'll be able to adjust their absences using that data. But we had to create something based on the information we received from the state.
I know the schools are doing the incentives trying to get kids to school. I know they've been working on that a lot. Having a contest or something like that.
Trying to have school tutoring, before school tutoring. We can't count during the day, so it's gotta be before, that's gotta be outside of school, to count to help lower the chronic absentee.
I just pulled up one school, and I don't want to mention the school, but one school has 46 kids that are chronically absent, and that's over 18 days missed. And it goes up to as high as 40 to 50 days in a year.
Well, they were just concerned saying it was started when they were young and it would just still turn on up when they get to high school, that they think they could just miss when they want to.
Yeah. We have several things in place to address those things. We have our student assistance teams that we work with, of course, if they're a special education student, the IEP teams can address that. We have IACT that we address it. We have student support services that we've hired that can also help and address that. So we're working very hard. We're tracking it. The problem is when we put a lot of pressure on them, they go homeschool. And so we have to work with that balance because we don't want to lose them in the homeschool. So we try to work with them to get them in, but not, but they come and they say, I'm going to homeschool my kid, and then we kind of lose track of it. But yes, it is a problem at all the schools. And it does start very young. I mean, by the time, I know that we have kids that by the time they get to high school, if you add up all of their attendances together, they probably missed a year and a half of school just by not coming.
Or are these kids failing because they don't come to school?
Yes.
Well, the biggest problem going down is parents not making good school.
Yes, and we're trying, we're doing a lot of things with social and mental health. The school is a reflection of society, so we've got a lot of issues and it filters into our school systems, and, we're trying to support everybody as much as possible. And even, we'll help the parents even if we can, at our ACT meetings, but it is a very concerning problem, yes.
Again, not on the agenda, but as a part of this conversation, I have heard from a couple of parents regarding students being able to leave during the day and only being able to come back if they have a letter from, like it states in the handbooks. And I think this might be like a county-wide statement in the handbooks that if you leave during the day, you can only come back into school if you have a doctor's note or a note from court, and that a note from a parent is not sufficient.
I'm not aware, I don't know, I'm not aware of that.
That
I'll
we're-
check that out.
Yeah, I think it might be worth it, and we can have a conversation offline about it or whatever from the concerns that I've gotten, which are kids being not able to come back, like if they've left during the day for, maybe it's an appointment that they need to do, that the parent has said, yes, you can go, I'll come and get you, take you out to that appointment, and then bring you back so that you minimize the amount of class time that you've missed. Maybe you're only gone for lunch or your study hall period or whatever, but you can't come back to class that day unless the note is from the doctor or a court, that we're not accepting the notes from parents, which is like a little bit of a slippery slope, I think, but I have had some parents address that with me lately.
I think what the issue was they're trying to prevent kids from checking out and going
To
and
lunch.
eating and coming back. And I know that's a hard thing, but they, of course, we're trying to encourage kids to eat.
Yes.
And so they're trying to discourage them from, just checking out and going to McDonald's for 30 minutes and then coming back. I honestly, I will have to say for the high school principals, I had a huge issue with that as a high school principal because 99% of them are going to eat and 1% of them are going to do something else that you don't want. And so I had to close campus is what I call it. I didn't let them go home for lunch and come back because maybe you were okay with them going, but Melissa wasn't.
Right.
They jumped in the car with you and went.
Yeah.
And so that it's, I think that's where the issue is just kids going for lunch and coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard, so I think that's where that's coming from now. But I don't know, I haven't heard personally myself, but I heard a little bit about it, but nobody's really asked me to address it.
Yeah.
But
I was asked to address it, but it's like I said, it's a hard thing because there are some appointments that you might need to go to that aren't necessarily a doctor's note.
exactly,
And if you are trying to minimize their absenteeism, so you take them out at the lowest stakes time, and you want to get them back for curriculum and instruction. That's a hard thing also because you can't.
Well, and I think you're trying to pick and decide what justifies going
What
home.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I know with having a girl, I've had that.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes you need to go home.
yes.
I've had, right,
Yes.
and you can't.
Right.
So you have to just bring what they need to school.
I think we just need, we need to have conversations with parents about that and just get a level of understanding because I think it's, it is a slippery slope when you're telling a parent you can't pick them up, you can't bring them back.
Yes.
That's a tough one right there. But I think that's where that's coming from. I heard a little bit about it. It's just trying to discourage them from signing out, going to lunch. And if it's, like I said, it's really hard to monitor. Like if one kid kids are kids and my mom said I could go and I'm gonna go for lunch. Can I get up in the car with you? And not have permission,
Right.
and then sneak back. It's really hard to monitor.
And I think
As a principal,
Montgomery County had stopped that several years back. They was having that trouble with kids leaving to go grab stuff to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then other things was happening.
Yeah,
So
I
they
mean, it's
just-
hard, and like I said, 99.9% of kids are going to have a hamburger.
Right.
There's a couple that won't. So. And there's some that don't have permission, and then they get in accidents.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have a conversation with them and see what's going on there.
Maybe if it's even like a limit of it, right? So that it's not carte blanche to go and come with parent permission because you know that's legit, right? But even if there's like a limit, so that if you do have a couple of appointments or something you have to go to during the day and still be able to come back.
Yeah, and another thing that happens too is like when one kid hears someone's going, then 5 other kids have their parents call in.
And do the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
And so now that's what you're doing, you're answering the phone for lunch permission. And, it's like I said, kids are kids, and, you know, I would say I'd probably do it too if I knew one of my friends was going to McDonald's and I didn't like whatever they were having, I'd do that too, so. It's just a safety thing, you know.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know what the answer is to that.
No perfect solution.
No.
Other items?
I had a request from a gentleman that's a member of the church out in Mason. And they're wanting to build a new church. They want to know if we would consider letting them have a little more land there.
Sent you that.
From the church on Henson?
Yeah.
The one that's right up
Yeah,
above?
right.
They're wanting to tear down, build new,
They're
and
gonna
they
build
want more
nice land,
land?
they build a new church.
I saw where he was saying that.
And
I guess he's letting him come with a proposal, what he's talking about, we could talk about it.
I told him I'd bring it up with y'all, can consider it not before you.
I always listen, price is right.
I was gonna say, everything's for
Well, it may would help if they build a bigger parking lot, we could use the same thing, Mason.
That's true. Just see, yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is, we just, if, you know, and if he wants to meet, you know, with Mike and Terry, talk about it, or however he wants to do it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's nothing for sale, but everything has a price, right?
Let's see, I talked to Mr. White about our other place, I had maybe having an ag day. Talked to Chris and Farm Bureau, and everybody's all for it. So Mr. White said he would get the ag teachers at their next meeting to discuss it, see how they felt about it, if they participate, go from there.
Sounds good.
I hope we can form, I wouldn't dump it all on the ag teachers, run it all, but have a committee maybe to help with it, have vendors there, and equipment, have it fun, touch a truck day again, and have open house at the tech center and ag lab.
I think the Farm Bureau, yeah, I mean, I think that's something, an extension office, I think y'all would probably.
Get involved too. Just we'll give you an update on that. Then the other thing I had was, what's the status on the two roads we're looking at? You have the road at the ag lab, or the new road off Hospital Road, and Eastern.
Still waiting on information back from, architect. He, requested, I think it was last week, to Brian to get GIS information and that sort of stuff, like, so I know that they're still waiting.
I talked to Chris, he just waiting on city before we can go any further, he had to have some plans.
Yeah, so
Talked
that's,
to her and talked to
they're still working.
IDA about being right away.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them today to see where we stand with plans.
That's all I had was both.
I was going to get Ms. Tickle to send out, the evaluation forms, we want to get that process started. Dr. Arbogast, we do that every year, each board member needs to fill one out. We'll put it together and then we'll talk about it.
Evaluating who?
Dr. Arbogast.
Oh.
Sorry.
Positive performance review. I think Ag Day could be in conjunction with my Harvest Day, you know, that I wanted for the little kids in the fall with the pumpkins and stuff, and all those tractors up there, to bring all the first and second graders, first and second graders, preschool up there, to see all the tractors, get a pumpkin.
Trucks, have fire department, rescue squad,
Yeah.
everybody involved. I think it's a great thing to do.
And we can also throw in farm to table as well. Last year we had, we always have a farm to table day, a week. And I think that, depending on when the date is, in conjunction with that, we always try to serve a farm to table meal or meals. Last year we had some pretty good press from the Virginia Department of
That's
Education,
really good.
School and Community Nutrition, so it might be that we can roll a couple of events into one and have a really good showcase on Johnson County schools.
Yeah, big day, a big day, yeah.
Mr. Rhodes, I'm gonna need you to get me like 700 or 800 pumpkins to put out there.
You can work on that.
I know we can, that's what I'm telling you.
The farm next to the school had so many pumpkins last year.
Woods,
And
Yeah.
me and his dad raised them.
Yeah, but if, you know, I mean, we can't work, not at the point where we can grow them, but we can put them out there and let the kids pick a pumpkin.
Well, we can grow them, why can't we grow them? We can grow
Well, I
them.
don't know, but I'm not speaking for Chris Townsend's farm.
Well, we had,
Chris.
we had, they used to do it when we first started, actually, they
Yeah.
done it a couple of years ago. So we put the pumpkin patch.
Yeah,
But I don't think that ain't right. Number that she's talking, if she.
No,
They got all that land over east.
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. I just think that'd be a really fun day, you know, because they always go to,
They go to the pumpkin patches, yeah,
they go to all these pumpkin patches, but if we, I think we could have one in the county, and that would be a lot of fun. Kids get to go.
This main thing is decide what we try to do in the fall or spring, we suit the school.
It's either pumpkins or Easter eggs, whichever one.
Okay. I think you consider it.
Yeah, I like the fall. The weather's better.
Starting more like farming and stuff.
Well, the weather's
Mhm.
better.
It's cool.
Anybody got anything else?
Maybe before I'm going out to the meetings.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All right. Adjourn.
We can have some apple